You are watching Major League Volleyball on the Roku channel. Welcome to Frisco, Texas, a standalone game within the league. Tonight, the powerhouse Omaha Supernovas visiting the expansion Dallas Pulse. Two teams near the top of the league standings. AJ Cannell alongside Madison Fitzpatrick and Madison. The two teams ranked first and second in the league in hitting efficiency. Exactly. So what we're going to see here is a battle of the offensive powerhouses. Dallas is number one. Omaha is number two in efficiency, like you said. So with both offenses in a rhythm, a key here is going to be which defense can slow down the other, and serve and pass game is going to be big. And for the Ren Athletics starting lineups, it's the same look that we have seen for Omaha, which makes sense because they're on a 3-match winning streak, including Emily Landot has gotten the nod recently at opposite in place of Merit Beeson. Landot coming off a career high 20 kills and 400 efficiency at Grand Rapids. And for the expansion Dallas Pulse, they're making a change. We're also going to focus on the opposite, where Malaya Jones checks in to the lineup for Kelsey Payne. Payne's dealing with a minor injury, but they feel like performance-wise it was probably time to give Jones a shot anyways. The rest of the lineup is what you would expect for this Dallas team, led by #1 overall pick Mimi Collier. This is the first ever matchup between Dallas and Omaha. Every team plays each other 4 times in the 28-match Major League Volleyball regular season. Year 3 of the league, first year for the Pulse, playing here in Frisco in the Comerica Center, and the first time they're hosting the Supernovas. Mimi Collier's first serve hits the top of the tape. It is a miss. You know, it's kind of funny. We talked to Coach Shannon Windsor before this matchup, and she said, our serve, when we get too high error, we aren't playing our best game with blocking. The errors are deflating, so they're going to look to limit that as the game goes on. Missed serves are kind of common when the game starts. That one clipped the tape. Close to an ace for Kiara Reinhardt, but a free opportunity here for the Novas, and taking advantage is Toyosi Anabanjo. Anna Banjo's coming off of 8 kills, but the kicker here, she had no errors. She hit over 500 in that match, so she's really in a rhythm with Sydney Haley, and I look to them to use her often. And a miss serve by Reinhardt. That's a position that's been evolving throughout the season for Omaha, that middle blocking position. They've gone through several different players. And at the beginning of the season, Coach LeBay said it's really nice to have depth in that position because we need point scorers in the middle, so he's playing around with the lineup a bit to see who can give him the most production. Sydney Hilly, the back set for Emily Landot. What a performance she had at Grand Rapids. Like you said, 20 kills, hit 400, very low error. Coach LeBay is looking for production out of that right side as well as the middles, and she gave that to him last match. 3-time All-American at Ohio State, now back to serve. A swing from Lane Van Buskirk. And now Reagan Cooper inserted into the lineup in recent matches for Omaha. And it's Malaya Jones getting a touch and a kill. And that was a really good out-of-system set by the libero for Dallas Pulse, Kylie Murr. Perfectly placed all the way, pushed out to Malaya Jones' right shoulder. Jones, a rookie second-round pick, playing in the same state where she competed collegiately. SMU was her college team, along with Colorado State and some time spent at USC. Reagan Cooper didn't appear in the first 4 matches for Omaha. Back to serve as she has found her mark in the lineup recently. Behind the attack line, Landot, big swing dug by Kylie Murr. Reaching for it, Collier makes it work. Coach Shannon Windsor before this matchup said we do not tip enough. So it's really fun to see them come out of the gates and tip. Not really common to hear a coach say, yeah, we're not tipping enough, but what a good dig, a great set by Maldonado Diaz, and then good eye vision, good
footwork to get to the ball and then place it.
What do you make of those comments? Because I would agree, just sort of a rough survey as Nunaviller puts it away. I haven't heard a lot of coaches personally say that. Usually I hear coaches say they want more aggressive swings. Not that necessarily a tip means that you're not being aggressive, I think was part of her point.
Exactly. You have to incorporate some versatility into your offense. That way those aggressive swings go down, the defense gets comfortable, and then it opens up the tip.
Flying through on a transition Vic with an impressive swing. Sofia Maldonado-Diaz. That's a big part of each of their outsides games.
And coach said the Bic, we use it big time in transitions. She said Maldonado-Diaz is lethal on the Bic. She's got a super fast arm swing and is really explosive.
Reinhardt tries to throw it, anticipated by Jones. Nunaviller reads it. Back row attack, Cooper.
And they had a triple block up there blocking Cooper in the back row, but she did a good job at identifying the hands, all six arms of those blockers, dropping that thumb and swinging down her body.
Player that struggled passing, but her offense is so potent, they've realized she has to be in the lineup. At least that's been the decision recently. Reagan Cooper, that's an excellent out-of-system conversion for Maldonado-Diaz.
Yeah, that's a great cleanup because bad pass, scramble play, they get the setup, but Maldonado-Diaz with that quick arm swing is able to score. That seemed like it was going to be the Supernovas' point, but that was good cleanup by Dallas.
And so it's the former Supernova, Natalia Valentin Anderson, the setter for Dallas, back to serve. Fresh opportunity going back to Reinhardt. Hilly loves to set the same player twice in a row, but Collier puts it down.
What Collier did so good there is she got on top of the ball. She got her feet there. Great dig by Kylie Murph. Been so impressed with her defense, but she got on top of the ball. Big snap to put that straight down.
Which is tough to do when it's coming in from that angle, right?
Absolutely. It's the timing of that, of the approach, and she nailed it.
Good serve by Valentin Anderson. And now she's in the setting spot with an opportunity offensively. It's going right back into the pocket of Murr. For Collier, the block was ready. Second jump Savage, but Omaha saves it again. Options once again. Dallas has been ahead of the point, and it finally takes advantage with Maldonado-Diaz.
And I love the decision there to run through the back row because they have all three offensive options open in the front row, running a 6-2. We got all three options, but they go with the back row attack, a one-on-one situation, and Maldonado-Diaz is, like coach said, lethal from that back row.
You see a lot of teams, some teams go to the Bic more in serve-receive, scripted situations. Dallas does it a lot in transition. That was unscripted for Nunaviller.
When Nunaviller sees a gap in the block, her arm swing is so fast, she's able to capitalize on it. She's extremely dynamic and athletic. So she gets to the ball. First of all, great, both liberos putting in some serious work, but you see the gap in between middle blocker and right blocker, and she took advantage.
Against the flow, the set for Malaya Jones. Close in the early going. Dallas inches ahead by a point, and it's a technical timeout here in Frisco. Tonight's MLV match on Roku is brought to you by Franklin, by Red Athletics, and by Spalding. Welcome back to the Comerica Center, the home of the Dallas Stars practice facility, Texas Legends in the NBA G League, and the Frisco Fighters of the Indoor Football League, and now this season, for the first time, the Dallas Pulse, the expansion team in the 8-team Major League Volleyball, taking on the Omaha Supernovas, led by Luca Slape. Omaha, a team that's had 3 seasons, done a lot of winning. They've had 3 head coaches.
And each head coach has come in, risen to the standard, and has led this team to playoffs back-to-back.
Coming off the timeout, 4 touches, point Omaha. It's a great coaching matchup. We'll get into more of Luca's background as well, but Shannon Windsor, who's got a lot of national team experience, both in her native Canada as well as Australia. Good hitter coverage by Collier. Slipping a little bit there was Jones. But still, it's effective for Malaya Jones, the insertion into the Pulse starting lineup.
And coming out, Malaya Jones is known for her power. She can just bust a hole through the floor. She can rip it in so many different ways. So I love the fact that she's showing some versatility with her offense, taking something off of it, and it is catching the defense by surprise.
And it's working for her so far, a 3-for-3 start. Landot, her counterpart, with the score for the Novas.
Landot does a really good job at powering through the block. She doesn't fear the block. She's not shying away from it. She's got a really big follow-through with her swing. And you can see it's that follow-through, swiping it off the hands of Maldonado Diaz.
Landot 2 for 4 and goes back to serve. An effective serve at Maldonado Diaz. And she can't put that out-of-system swing over the net.
I said it before, but the serve and pass game is going to be so imperative because both of these teams are incredibly efficient. And when the pass is off the net, when the serve is tough, it really limits what you can run on offense.
Going back to the same spot on the court, another effective serve. And a dig by Landot. Now Cooper. That is out of bounds. And the kill for Reagan Cooper.
Reagan Cooper able there to sneak it inside the inside hand of Lane Van Buskirk, just with that quick arm swing, dropping that thumb. She can hit some really sharp angles, and she did so really well, even with the block set in front of her.
3 straight from Omaha, and looking for a 4th on a banjo. The overpass kill, 4-0 run.
Maldonado Diaz really getting targeted in serve receive. That's really good serving, keeping it at her when she's not in a rhythm and passing.
And as a result, timeout is called by the Dallas Pulse.
Pulse fans, if you haven't stopped by the work stands yet, now's the time. Official Dallas Pulse volleyball.
So it's only the first year of the Dallas Pulse franchise, but already both of these teams seem to be really connected to each other. The big reason for that is the sheer number of players that came from Omaha and now reside in Dallas. Here are the biggest names on that list.
And it was fun whenever Omaha came onto the court after Dallas was done with practice. All the girls got to hug. They were so happy to see each other. You can tell they still have a really good connection. And we talked to Valentine Anderson before this matchup and asked if there was a little extra motivation coming into this matchup, playing against her former team. And I love her answer. She said, no, it's just another game. It's kind of like the opponent is faceless. You have to have that in those big matchups.
Also worth noting, beyond that graphic, that Kendall White on the Dallas Pulse roster played for Omaha 2 years ago. And Claire Amaral was a draft pick by Omaha at a training camp cut. She just got signed by Dallas as a result of a player going on injured reserve, Celia Cullen. Nobody home. Point Omaha.
And that's a missed opportunity because that was a really good block touch by the Pulse, able to get their defense behind it, pass it up, recycle it up in transition, give themselves a chance to score, but a little bit of a communication error. 2 players got tied up. That's definitely a missed opportunity.
It's the Dallas area native, Reagan Cooper, playing in her hometown professionally for the first time. Back to serve for Omaha. Landot is blocked by Lane Van Buskirk, the former Vegas Thrill member.
Coach told us Van Buskirk has always been an elite attacker, but where Coach has really poured into her and where she's grown the most has been her blocking. Watch her get her feet to the ball, the press, tracking the ball really well with her hands, and then pushing those palms back to area 6 to block it inside the court.
Those two have a deep history together, with head coach Shannon Windsor coming from the Canadian national team where Van Buskirk has played for many years. Oh, Maldonado Diaz has had a couple of jump kills in the first set.
And that's good initiative. That's aggression that I know Coach Windsor wants to see from her team. We talked about Dallas leading the league in offensive efficiency. They're also first in opponent efficiency, so their defense has been really scrappy.
That is just so impressive. You have all these other teams that have a 2-year head start. Natalia Valentin-Anderson coming close to a block there. Big swing from Collier, dug by Landot. Nunaviller, good with her hands. Set her out of the play here. Back to Collier, high swing. No contact. Point Omaha to finish the point from before. The expansion team to come in and have the league lead in both team efficiency and best defense opponent efficiency through over 25% of the season. That's so impressive.
So impressive. Coach Windsor said she loved coming in and building a team from scratch. She said, I didn't inherit bad culture. We are what we are because we created it from the jump, and she's obviously created a really good thing in Dallas.
Bump set to Collier. It's a point this time for Mimi Collier, #1 overall pick, played 3 years at Oregon and then reached greater heights at Wisconsin.
Yeah, she was such a blast to watch at Wisconsin last year. Led them to great heights, like you said. She was their leading attacker. She's Dallas's leading attacker. The transition to the pros has been really impressive from her.
This time there was a block touch and 2 scoring plays in a row for Collier.
Coach Windsor told me what they're working on with Collier is decision making. She has the range, she has all of the shots, but that was a smart decision. The block is up and set, she goes high hands.
Hilly selects Nunaviller, good decision. Brooke Nunaviller has been on a tear in the early going this season.
Yeah, she's burst onto the scene this season. Watch just a little gap in the block. There's also some height disparity between her and Valentin-Anderson, and she took advantage of that gap.
She's already one of the best players in the league the last 2 years. That one ruled in on the save from Valentin-Anderson. Back to Nunaviller through the gap. It was dug. Good defense both ways. High set for Landot. Now Nunaviller pulls the string for Omaha. Nunaviller at an even higher point scoring pace this year. So impressive considering she was the outside hitter of the year in the league last season. And here she is for another smart play. Brooke Nunaviller, timeout. During the timeout, Sophie Peterson out of nearby Byron Nelson High School, the top volleyball recruit in the country and the National Gatorade Player of the Year, being honored here in Frisco. She's committed to Texas A&M.
And obviously Texas A&M won the national championship this past year. Was such a cool underdog story. I'm really happy for Coach Jamie Morrison and everything that he's built with that team, and pretty cool to get the Gatorade Player of the Year on his group.
And it just shows you, coming out of this area, the National Player of the Year, just the significance of volleyball in the Metroplex here and how great it is to have a Major League Volleyball team in the market. Nunaviller trying to use the block. It ricochets and was dug by Jones. Collier using the angle, ready for it. First time we've said her name somehow. Morgan Hens. But it's a point for the Pulse.
Yeah, Morgan Hens with the great Paul Sunderland said, don't hit to Hensville, that left area of the court. She's got such good quick twitch reflexes. She puts herself in great positions to make the plays. She's an elite defender.
They've been able to avoid her so far, as that was only her second dig. I don't feel quite as bad for not saying her name until then. It was only her second. A block for Collier and for the Pulse.
There's so much that goes into blocking. You're not just getting there and throwing your hands up. The timing has to be right. And there they had to delay their block jump because it was a high set, out of system, but they delayed perfectly and pressed at the right time.
Good pass there by Cooper. And Landot knew what to do with it.
Coach Lucas Slabay told us that he needs more production from the right side. So he puts Landot in, and she just wants to rip the cover off of the ball. She provides that kill percentage, that production on the right side because she goes after it. She's so aggressive.
Her third kill of the set. Easy money there for Kiara Reinhardt, the rookie first-round pick out of Creighton. Local, obviously, to the Omaha Supernovas hometown. Timeout called by Dallas with an 18-16 Omaha lead. The nation's top volleyball stars are heading to Orlando as Major League Volleyball will hold the second All-Star match in league history, and you can be there. Tickets are now on sale for the historic contest Saturday, March 28th. It's going to be broadcast live on CBS Paramount Plus, but get your tickets now by visiting provolleyball.com/All-Star26.
That was such a historic event last season. The first ever All-Star for Major League Volleyball on CBS. We're doing it again. We're also going to have the fan voting for your favorite player. That will become available later as we get closer to it, but you're going to want to get your tickets. You're going to want to tune in on CBS because it's the best of this league battling it out.
I've never been one to turn down a trip to Orlando in the winter or early spring either. Coming off the timeout taken by the Pulse. They have none left the rest of the set. Cooper brings it down, and Omaha keeps it going.
And that was an inside set. The block was set up in the right position. They're giving her a little angle, not much angle at all though. But she gets on top of the ball really well, and she creates so many angles for herself, with how high she attacks the ball.
Tristan Savage out of UCLA ends a 3-0 run and gives the ball back to Dallas.
Coach Windsor told us they need to run more middle. Less gap to Savage, more just quick sets, ones right in front of the setter. That was a perfect example of that.
Both their middles, Savage and Van Buskirk, hit over 400. That was a great set by Hilly to another 400-plus middle, Kiara Reinhardt.
We have some of the most efficient middles in the league battling it out here. Both coaches said they wanted to get the middles involved more. This is a gap set, so you've got about 5 feet of space between you and your setter, and what that does is it stresses the block, it moves the block, and you're able to find angles to score.
You don't see too many effective gap sets where the setter's having to pull it off the net like that. That was impressive. And the serving sub, Brooke Mosher, the rookie who played at both Pittsburgh and Illinois, is long with that jump serve, so she will check back out. And wearing the libero uniform checking in, Omaha is going away from Morgan Hens right now, and they're going with Allison Holder, second-year pro out of Creighton, as Jelly Sear works in on the other side as the service sub rookie pro for Dallas out of Arizona State. So the benches are being used right now, both sides. Back row attack for Nunaviller. Kelsey Payne has checked in to the lineup for Dallas. Cox with a swing as well. Nunaviller tries to tip, elbows it back over. Another swing from Kaylee Cox, tight to the net. And that's a back row setter. Violation on Hilly.
I know Allison Holder wishes she could have that one back. You want to control it on your side of the net. They're just creating a little bit of an overpass. Now Dallas is only down by 1. we're going to get a challenge.
Omaha is challenging if there was a net fault in the middle of the rally.
So understand the ref mic didn't make it through to air quite yet at this time. Our R1, Suzanne Lowry, said that what was being challenged is a potential net fault in the middle of the rally. That's new this year, that there are no more mid-rally challenges. You cannot stop the point, but you can go back afterwards as long as you're specific about where you want the officials to go. It can only be one part of the rally. Instruct them where to review, and Omaha believes that there was a net fault on Dallas.
And another change this season is you no longer have 2 challenges, you only have 1. So coaches hold those challenges a little tighter to their chest. They use them a little bit more sparingly. So he must really believe that Dallas was in the net if he calls a challenge on this.
To be clear, of course, 1 challenge per team per set. So if, for instance, Omaha doesn't win this challenge, they won't be able to challenge the rest of the set, but they'll get both teams a maximum of 1 regardless in every subsequent set. Got a great combination of officials, Suzanne Lowry in the chair and Devaney McClarty, the R2, being the director of officiating across the entire league. Very experienced crew. MLV replay system working on this call to try and identify if there was a net violation on Dallas in the middle of the point. This is a key swing. Finally see what they're looking at. And it was the ball hitting the net, making it ripple. No net touch. So an unsuccessful challenge by Omaha. No challenges remaining in the set now for Lucas LeBay and the Supernovas. And the point remains with the Pulse, down by 1 as both teams now entering or about to enter the red zone. Cooper with a thumb down swing, and it's 21-19.
What's giving the Supernovas an edge right now is their first ball contact. Brooke Nunaviller with a perfect 3 pass, and then controlling that ball in transition. Good pass by her again. Coach LeBay said he wanted 50% good or positive passing. They're at that right now. They've been in a little bit of a rut passing, but their serve receive has been really good in this first set.
Of course, a fairly widely known fact that Brooke Nunaviller, a former libero earlier in her career, such a great passer as an outside hitter. Pass to attack for Kaylee Cox, checked into the lineup, middle of the set. Played for Columbus last year. Big swing in a big spot.
Coach Windsor told us coming into this matchup, Kaylee Cox is possibly the best skilled player in our gym. She said she attacks the ball. I watched her come in against Orlando, and she was the X factor that got them back in it to win.
The serve by Jones. The swing by Cooper, and the point.
What gives Cooper an advantage with all of these attacks is how high she's contacting the ball. She does not let that set drop. Watch her reach, grab it. It's not dropping at all. She's swinging over the block and down the line.
Cooper hitting 5 for 7 in the first set, and an effective serve right there. Collier just sends it over toward the middle. Nunaviller tries to twist that one in over the block. Cox gets a big piece of the block. Hilly has to bump set it. Nunaviller dug by another former Oregon Duck. In Collier, out of system, Kaylee Cox, big swing for Cox.
And that was an inside set, and why that's so impressive is that she got her feet to the ball. If you're reaching, you don't have all of your power, your feet have to get there. So her approach was really good to the ball off of that inside set, and then she was able to use her range, drop that pinky, and drive it down the line with a crossbody swing.
Omaha uses its first timeout of the set, and now 1 remaining for the Novas, none left for Dallas. The league standings very early on still. But these 2 teams, if the season were to end today, would both be in the top 4 teams. Same format will end up making the Major League Volleyball postseason. And right now, there's a little bit of a separation between the top 4 and the next 4, but it's still very early on.
And it's a really long season. I mean, that lineup right there shuffled so much last season. Every game, every match is so important because of how tight and competitive the league is. So I would expect a lot of shifting as we get closer to the playoffs, but this is a fun one. This is a fun season.
Interesting, and around that middle of the pack, Omaha stole some players from Atlanta. Morgan Hentz, most namely, and of course Dallas getting some players from Omaha, cycling around the league. Off the Omaha timeout, Nunaviller through the seam, and Omaha's just had the side-out answer the last few opportunities.
And credit Reagan Cooper. When she's getting targeted, she's doing a really good job of passing. That was an emphasis for her coming into the season. Coach LeBay said that's something she had to amp up if she was going to start, and she did so.
Ace serve for the Novas, and it's the middle Toyosi on a banjo with her first of the season to put them on set point. Collier extends the first set here in the Dallas area in Frisco.
Mimi Collier's 7th kill, hitting around 350, only had 1 error. She's their go-to, just a rookie, but doesn't play like it, is able to really rise to the pressure every occasion.
It's a good serve right there by Lane Van Busker. Try to save another set point. Cooper reaches up for it. Holder takes the second ball, a good set and a good result for Omaha. Who else but Brooke Nunaviller to give the Supernovas the first set.
She is their go-to in transition, out of system, in system. She's able to handle the pressure and the load that it takes to be in her position.
6 kills, 3 digs for Nunaviller in the first set. First ever matchup between these two teams. And the powerhouse Supernovas take the first set. That really was a close first set the entire way, but Dallas did have to take 2 timeouts earlier than Omaha did, and the Supernovas probably took advantage of that and some good serving late and won the first set 25-22. Let's take a look at tonight's first set stats brought to you by Spalding. Well, we said the top 2 offenses in the league coming in.
And it's exactly what the stats show. We knew it was going to be even coming in. We knew it was going to be 2 offensive powerhouses. So then it rings true that the serve and pass game is so important. Omaha out passing Dallas. Dallas got into a little bit of a rut. They lost a few too many points off of bad passes, not being able to run their full offense, whereas Omaha's first contact was just a little bit cleaner, and that's what gave them the edge. But credit to Dallas, still hitting .364 when their passes are off the net. That's still really impressive.
An Omaha team that, bizarrely, is on a 3-match winning streak, passing 36% positive or worse in all of those matches. They've been in a passing slump. That's a really bad positive passing percentage, as an excellent swing coming out of the first set break by Reagan Cooper. Also bizarrely, Morgan Hentz doesn't get subbed out very often. She came out in the middle of the first set, is now back in there. Mentioned that she's was a little quiet, only had 2 digs in the first set. She's been in a little bit of a passing slump lately. Also, bizarrely, I'm gonna keep using the word, didn't have a serve receive attempt in the first set, even though she played most of it. And that's a back row swing, and that's usually what the result is when Collier swings from behind the attack line.
And Coach Windsor told us she's really happy with the amount that they're using Collier in the back row. Got all 3 options going, Savage up on the gap. But Collier's just so lethal. That's one of Dallas's strengths, is their back row attack.
No question. As Landot misses the mark. Maldonado Diaz subbed out, but when both her and Collier are in, that's a strength for each of those players. And again, Dallas, just kind of like on the Omaha side with putting Hentz back in, they unwind their substitution from the first set. Maldonado Diaz is back in after she had been replaced by Kaylee Cox in the middle of that first set, as Kiara Reinhardt rotates to the back and is going to serve for the Supernovas. Racing underneath it was Natalia Valentin Anderson to save it. Now it's Kylie Murr the dive from her knees. Valentin Anderson, Nunaviller lays out. Free ball. Kelsey Payne checked in middle of the first set. Nunaviller takes the second. Landot is dug by Valentin Anderson, the top digging setter in the league. What a point. Valentin Anderson, once again, Maldonado Diaz hits line but misses. But the call, it was Suzanne Lowry pointing in the wrong direction. She says, my bad. She initially called point Omaha and then changed the direction she was pointing.
Can we just talk about Valentin Anderson for a second? We talked to her before this matchup, and she said she wants to be the best defender on the floor every single time she's on the floor. I love that mindset from a setter. She's leading her team in digs. She had 85 coming into this matchup. I mean, just truly incredible defense from her.
That was absolutely ripped by Toyosiana Banjo. What a way to respond after that lengthy rally loss. By the way, you got to back me up that Suzanne Lowry pointed the wrong way after that long point.
I saw that. I was just so excited about Valentin Anderson.
Just wanted to make sure
No, I support
people knew I'm not going crazy here. As Maldonado Diaz rips one on that 4-4 swing.
Maldonado Diaz has had an interesting journey. Coach moved her from the opposite, which she played overseas and in college, moved her to the outside. She said the transition has been really smooth, and that's hard. That's a completely different attack.
Anna Banjo, they've been looking for another effective middle offensively alongside Reinhardt. We've seen a couple of effective swings in a row from Toyosiana Banjo, the former first-round pick out of Kansas. Slide attempt, Van Buskirk, just a little bit of a whiff there from Landot, but Van Buskirk will take it.
That set a little low. Van Buskirk, that was really all she could do was tip it, but she tipped it to the right spot. If you're Landot, you want that back. You want to take your time with that pass. I think she was rushing it a little bit. That's one that you just have to have back up on your side.
That is a net violation. And it's a point Omaha always love to side out quickly against a server like Maldonado Diaz, who leads Dallas in aces. But that was a net violation called on Dallas. Collier, high swing, looking for hands. Been a few of those from Collier. She's really been trying to attack the fingertips through the first set and change, but this time it's ruled obviously out, but more importantly, no block touch. Creative over on two there from Valentine Anderson.
Coach Windsor told us that Valentine Anderson is such a positive leader. She truly sets an example of how to be a true pro's pro. She puts effort in recovery, and she also plays with a lot of joy, which I think is an important aspect of a leader on a team. She's got the competitive fire, she's got the positivity, and then she can also add in the skills, really good at defense, and she can assert herself offensively when she's in the front row.
Landot right to the middle. And a technical timeout. It's the same 8-7 score we saw in the first set at this juncture. Timeout on the court. The score 8-7, Omaha on top of Dallas. We saw both teams hitting in the mid threes at the conclusion of the first set, and that's really still where they are. Omaha hitting 365 as a team, and Dallas is hitting 364. The offenses have won out so far. We're talking about Dallas hitting 255 on the season, #1 in the league, and Omaha is #2 at 245 on the year. Both offenses being quarterbacked by setters who have played for Omaha. Natalia Valentine Anderson now in her first year, going away from the Supernovas, got up there to the net to try and contest that play, but a point for Omaha.
And that was a great serve. Give Sydney Hilley the assist. Not really, that does not show up on the stat sheet, but that serve caused the overpass.
The figurative assist.
Yes.
Collier. Big dig from Hentz, but it's over on the pole side. Maldonado Diaz has had a hot start offensively. Got subbed out briefly for passing, but Maldonado Diaz on a 7-for-12 heater.
That's one of the quickest bics I have ever seen. Look at her extend, reaching for that ball. It is so fast. She is beating the block on that bic attack.
I wonder if that's part of the reason they've been converting her from opposite hitter now to the outside hitting position in the pros as Payne converts.
And Coach Windsor said she's a really good passer. She has experience on the outside, and if they need her, they can move her over there to the opposite position. But yes, that big attack is a huge advantage.
Teams jockeying for position at the net, and it continues. Saving it, Valentine Anderson, and Kelsey Payne throws it inbounds toward the corner.
Good court awareness by Kelsey Payne. First of all, Valentine Anderson putting in some work, getting that ball up. Pretty good set off of one hand, and then it's the eye work. It's seeing the opposite area of the court. If you're not going to put it down fast, you've got to put it down in the right spot. A little bit of a scramble play, and I think that just shows Payne's experience, the calmness in a situation like that.
How about a save and an assist as Omaha is having a conversation with Suzanne Lowry. Both Lucas LeBay and Brooke Nunaville are over there talking about whether, I think there should be a double contact on the Kelsey Payne touch is the point of contention, because you can now this year double on your own side, but not when it goes over. There was no double call on the floor. But instead, they're gonna go ahead, forget about that thought. They're gonna challenge a reaching over the net interference call, which is a new rule change that you can challenge for the first time this year in MLV.
And if I saw it correctly, I believe they're calling that on Kelsey Payne. In the middle of that scramble, before the ball came back over, I saw Omaha initially react like she went over the net, crossed over the plane, and inflicted the way that the ball was played.
Got it. We'll get a look at it once they do. Also, by the way, Holder back in at libero. What do you make of that? That right now they're going double bro with Allison Holder getting some opportunities along with Morgan Hentz.
I think for Morgan Hentz now, obviously she's as elite of a libero as they come. It's a little bit of a mental slump. And so sometimes when you're in your head mentally with serve receive, it's good to take a little bit of space. It's nice that they have that depth. Coach said he knows she's going to get it back. Sometimes it just takes time. It's completely normal. Yep, she is reaching over the net. Okay.
They're saying it was a legal block, though, right?
Yep, because this is an attack hit. The opposing on Omaha's side is attacking the ball. You are allowed to go over the net when the opposing team is attacking and you're blocking.
As opposed to if the Omaha player was setting.
Exactly. So they're saying that she was attacking, that ball was going to go over the net.
So once again, Omaha loses a challenge. They lost one late in set one. Now they have to deal with no challenges left for most of the second set. But it's off the block and down for Emily Landot.
You know, that's interesting. That's something that Coach Windsor told us coming into this match, is the hesitation for their floor defense. I saw some hesitation there between Maldonado Diaz and that left back defender. So she wants them to go for it. Don't hesitate. Go get that ball after the block touch.
Out of system kill for #1 overall pick, Mimi Collier.
And that was a smart swing. That's what she's working on. She's a little bit off the net. She's not in her full rhythm offensively because the ball's a little bit behind her. So that was a really smart attack option. Take something off of it, drive it to area one.
Nearly 5.5 kills per set in her final season last year with Wisconsin. Landot for the point.
Good pass in system. Landot's got about a foot of space in between middle blocker and outside blocker that she's able to take advantage of. She has such a powerful arm swing.
The assist for Nunaville, who seems to be very useful in addition to everything else she does as a second ball outlet option.
She has her handprint in every area, every aspect of this Omaha Supernovas team. Also credit Landot. That's a really difficult ball to attack. It's high, it's crossing over your left shoulder all the way to your right. You have to have a lot of patience.
That's ruled a throw. That's ruled a throw. No kill for Tristan Savage. You don't see them actually call it a lot.
Yeah,
they called it there. I think it was the right call there.
I think so too. It was a little sticky. She held on to it for a little bit.
3 straight points for Omaha. Tough set against the flow there. Hilly for Reagan Cooper. Timeout call by Dallas.
Coach Windsor wants them to tip more. She did say that, but if you are going to give that tip, it can't be as high. It gives the defense so much time to get underneath and pass that ball up. So if you are going to tip to the pot, as she calls it, it's got to have almost a kind of downward trajectory. It can't have that much of a peak on it.
Dallas is stuck in a timeout right now, but their #1 overall pick, who played 3 years at Oregon and 1 at Wisconsin, Mimi Collier, has had a great start to her professional career. That has continued tonight.
Yeah, just the poise and the confidence that she brought with her from college to the pros has been so impressive, and it's honestly extremely unique. To come in to play her best volleyball right out of the gates, the pros are obviously faster. It's the best of the best from college to here, but she hasn't stuttered at all. She has just joined in perfectly to the speed of the game. She's really risen to any challenge that they put in front of her. 300 hitting efficiency, right on the mark. 8 kills, 2 digs.
For an outside hitter, especially a young one, an impressive 275 on the season for Mimi Collier. Using the edge there, Sofia Maldonado-Diaz to end the run.
And that was a smart swing. Maldonado-Diaz there hesitating before attacking. She let that ball drop a little bit. She hesitated on her swing, and then the block was on its way down. So she was able to tool the block because she was mixing with that timing.
Tristan Savage back to serve. She can be a very aggressive server, an effective server for Dallas as long as she's getting the ball in, which sometimes is a struggle. Point scoring play there. Savage got them ahead in the point. Kelsey Payne killed it.
In the Orlando match, most recently, Kelsey Payne had around 15 kills. She had a lights-out performance. That's what Coach Windsor needs from an opposite. They're very outside hitter heavy with this Dallas team. She needs Kelsey Payne every match when she's in, or Malaya Jones, to step up and contribute points just like that.
Jones got to start this match. Payne's been dealing with a leg contusion. The kill for Anna Banjo. Yeah, she said as well, she knows that Kelsey Payne has the ability, all the ability in the world to be that player. It hasn't always been consistent enough so far.
And she also said she's not playing to her highest level yet. She knows that that's there. They're getting it out of her.
Cooper turns that one down the line, and we have a timeout on the court. It's still a 3-point advantage for Omaha, 16-13. Reagan Cooper has helped Omaha take a 1-0 lead in sets and a 3-point lead in the second set. Cooper didn't play the first 4 matches, now has started the last 3 after coming in previously as a reserve. You look at the splits though, when she's been in versus out of the lineup this season, huge difference for the team.
Oh, that's great. I love that. She bided her time. She worked on her passing, which is what Coach asked of her. And then in her 3 matches, she goes 17 kills, 23 kills, and 10 kills. And it's obviously such an advantage to this team to have her on the court.
Those were the Omaha numbers as a team. That much better when Cooper's been in. That's Van Buskirk converting. Dallas is back within 2. Kelsey Payne, the former Omaha Supernova, one of 5 of them, 4 that have appeared, I should say 3 that have appeared in the regular season for them. Back to serve. Omaha just keeping them at arm's length.
Yeah, Omaha seems like they've been in control of this match because so far their first contact has been really good. Sydney Hilley's been running a very balanced offense. She's done a good job at setting the hot hands when they present themselves. And right now that's Reagan Cooper.
That one, I'm curious your thoughts. It's another throw call, this one on Van Busker.
That's a tough one. It definitely was quicker than the one before, the one that was originally called. It did look a little faster. But I always say, the refs know more than me.
I wonder if there's something we couldn't see from our angle there, because it looked a lot faster. The lead is swelled to 4. But Maldonado Diaz shrinks it back down to 3.
That's a crazy angle from Maldonado Diaz. They're targeting her in serve receive because at times her passing's been a little shaky. They're also trying to take her out of the offense. But that out of system set was so incredible, led her so nicely, and that angle to attack so sharply is so difficult.
There's Landot. I asked Lucas Lebe, who are your serving targets today? He really didn't want to say. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, you can see Landot really identifying the hands of the blocker really well and just weaving it into the inside.
Most teams have been targeting Mimi Collier more, a lot more, in serve receive this season. In fact, Collier received more serves in Dallas's most recent match against Indy than the whole rest of the team combined. Today, it's been Maldonado Diaz that they've served at by far the most. So that's a little bit of a strategy change from what we've seen other teams do, but Omaha has elected to really target Maldonado Diaz. I know the reason I mentioned it, you just commented on that you've noticed that.
Yeah, and it's a great point. She's passing right now 0% positive or good. So they're targeting her, and I think it's smart. It's just matchup based, whoever's in a rhythm and who's not.
There's a big roof. Collier to the forefront with a big block for Dallas.
Mimi Collier, for being just a rookie, is so physical. Look at how high she gets up over the net, the big press. You have to be invasive as a blocker, and she is.
I think the reason why this is so impressive right now is Nunaviller converts again. Dallas is playing well in certain facets of the game.
Yep.
It's like a close enough margin that in order to manage this match and have these tight leads, Omaha's had to really work for it, but they've been doing it. They've been executing. They have really not been given all that much. Landot. Then hit the block, then the antenna. So it's a point for Landot and Omaha.
Sydney Hilly is running such a good offense right now. That was a beautiful set, reversing the flow, pushing it out to Landot's shoulder. Right now, in this set, Omaha hitting 500 as a team.
And Nunaviller digs Collier. That's Oregon versus Oregon crime right there. Landot through the hands, and Emily Landot is coming alive to only improve that hitting efficiency for the Supernovas. Timeout, Dallas.
Double-digit kills for Emily Landot throughout these first 2 sets. I believe that's her 11th. She's also had 7 digs, which is the most digs on the team right now. She's been putting in a lot of work on both sides of the ball.
Speaking of Landot, let's take a look back at some of the highlights.
It's Landot's physicality that really does set her apart. She's so strong as an attacker, and then she's really smart. She knows when to take something off of it, when to go high hands. If the block is there and set, she does a really good job at following through and wiping it off their arms. She has all of the tools, and whenever she got the start, you can tell she is coming into this match, every match that she gets to start, with a purpose.
And if she's digging the ball at that rate, if she's in double-double territory as a floor defense player, feels like a bonus. I mean, you would think that that would be probably advantage merit Beeson. Be getting a little bit better back row play when Beeson is in. But right now, Landot's giving them everything.
Yep.
How about a block? Landot was part of that next to Kiara Reinhardt.
I think Omaha definitely sensing that Mimi Collier is going to get a lot of these balls. So they are there, they are set. If you're Dallas, you don't want to become too predictable. You got to mix in some middles every now and then. They're becoming a little reliant on their pin.
Kelsey Payne, the D-attack. Oh, Hentz got the ball up, but a miscommunication subsequently.
We haven't seen a ton of miscommunications on Omaha's side, so with that one, you have a 5-point lead. You kind of just shake it off, but look at this dig by Morgan Hens in the right position, getting her platform underneath it, and then angling that platform into the court. It's really hard to do at that speed.
Back to the hot hand, Landot. And the automated in-out call rules. The ball was out, so it went off the block for a Landot kill. And Landot calls for a little court maintenance with set point coming. You notice when Omaha is serving, Morgan Hens is in. When they're in serve receive, it's Holder. And an ace serve to cap a 25-18 second set victory. Omaha takes the first 2 sets. They were good in the first set. They were great in the second set and won 6 of the last 7 points to earn that set 2 win. Right now, the commanding lead over Dallas. Supernovas had great offensive performances from several, but one of them was Reagan Cooper, a 9 for 15, no error day so far for Cooper. She's standing by with Madison.
Reagan, so far in those first 2 sets, 9 kills, hitting 600. What are you seeing from their defense to allow you to perform at that level?
I always try to, my #1 goal is to hit high and hard every single time. I think my ability to be able to reach and hit over the blockers is my biggest plus in my game. And obviously that's hard to do every time, but that's the #1 thing I try to prioritize. And so I feel like it's connecting, and Sid's giving me sets high enough for me to do that.
What's the conversation like in these next couple of minutes with the team to try to close this out in 3?
Just to keep pushing. You know, I feel like a lot of what we struggled with during that second set was just missing the little balls, the small plays, letting things drop, miscommunication. So like cleaning up those little things. I think we're playing clean besides that. So I think just cleaning up the small errors.
Thank you. Great job.
Cooper from nearby Rowlett, Texas, expects 10 to 15 people to be here at the very least, probably a lot more than that in support of her, and she's been showing out for the hometown fans, playing for the first time here in the DFW area, and it's Omaha up 2 sets to nothing.
Listen to everything you love and so much more with the free iHeartRadio app. From live play-by-play to your favorite game day anthems and the biggest sports podcasts in the world, the iHeartRadio app lets you take it all with you and stay connected to your favorite team wherever you go. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Which opponents we met first wins the game. Y'all
We just heard from Reagan Cooper. Let's take a look at Reagan Cooper through 2 sets.
Since joining the lineup, Reagan Cooper has averaged 4.54 points per set, and she's on par to do that tonight. She's got 9 kills through those first 2 sets. I mean, she's been so explosive, so dynamic. She's performing at such a high level. That's why I bring up those past 3 matches, because the level at which she entered the lineup was extremely high, and she's not slowing down.
The adjustment from not playing back row in college, having to perform 6 rotations in the pros, she is figuring it out. We'll step aside here in the intermission.
Wow, I mean, it means the world. I think it's so cool that now we have so many incredible opportunities like what we're doing right now, you know, being able to be the first professional volleyball team in Dallas, you know, at the start of the organization.
Ask him if it's okay if we stay on.
It's really incredible. It's just time period that I can see from it.
What are they looking for there? Dallas trying to find a reverse sweep. They're looking for that against Omaha here at home. Again, the first time these teams have ever met. Each team plays every other team 4 times during the MLV regular season. Dallas coming close to a fortuitous ace to lead off the 3rd set. They'll take that. It got them ahead of the point, and Kelsey Payne sledgehammered it away.
And I think that's what Dallas needs. Coming into this 3rd set, they need some diversity, some variety in their offense, spreading out the ball a little bit more. They were very outside hitter heavy in those last 2 sets.
What's the root cause of that issue?
I mean, when your pass is off the net, Valentina Anderson is running, she's out of system. It's just easiest to get it to your outside hitter or your back row attacker. So pushing their passes to the net will help, because I know running the middle is a priority of theirs.
Omaha at least improved their passing from recent matches to pedestrian level, 42% positive. Dallas, 28% positive through the first couple of sets.
And then you combine that with last set. Omaha hit 516. I mean, it's really hard to beat a team that's hitting 516 in 1 set. And that's a comparison to Dallas's 323 hitting efficiency.
So for the match, Omaha at 438, Dallas at 338 going into this point. It's actually insane when you think about those offensive numbers matched up with the poor passing numbers for both teams. It just shows you how much talent there is on both sides offensively, right? Because the poor passing should equate to better defensive numbers.
And credit both of the setters with so much championship experience, that mentality that they're going to put their hitters in good positions to score even when the pass isn't there.
The Reinhardt missed serve makes it 3-2. Early in the third set. Dallas is looking for the reverse sweep. That's only happened 4 times in Omaha franchise history. They have been reverse swept. Hilly to Anna Banjo. Hilly to Cooper. Covered by Nunaviller. Hilly gets there, right back to Cooper. Caitlin Horde is checked in. She digs it, and it leads to a point.
Caitlin Horde recording a dig. Look at her teammates, they love that. The teammates on the sideline love it too. That's always fun when a middle can get a perfect pass. And then running that really fast, big attack with all 3 blockers up with a triple block. You don't have any off blockers to dig that tip, so that was really smartly placed.
Horde, who did appear in the previous set briefly, as that's sent through the block by Reagan Cooper. Caitlin Horde, only 4 sets played, just 2 matches played. A player that previously was on the All-Star team, was putting up some pretty big numbers for both Columbus and Omaha the last 2 seasons. Tristan Savage taking that starting middle spot through most of the season, but now Horde getting an opportunity here against her former team, as that's a Lane Van Busker kill.
And I think another reason why coach is putting Horde in is because historically she's a really good blocker. She's very physical, and when you have Omaha hitting .516, you need a middle in there that's going to get there, close the block, at least get some touches on it to slow it down. I think that's why she's in.
Or Savage has been really good offensively, but a little quieter today. Horde last year, to your point, was 3rd in the league at .88 blocks per set.
Yep.
That was with Omaha. So she knows these hitters. Also, Kendall White is in at libero, as it's a kill for Collier.
I love that we're seeing so much depth on both sides of the net. Both coaches using both dressed out liberos when they need them. Great up by White. And then Collier doing exactly what she's done all night.
They'll take that. Kelsey Payne, the ace, off the net and down. It's been a little while for Horde and White. White hasn't played the last 3 matches before today. Horde had sat out the last 4. Five of the last 6 points have been scored by the Pulse. On the gap set on a Banjo. Cooper, Valentine Anderson, great defensive point. Now gets the set up for Collier. Nunaviller going low to use her hands. Maldonado Diaz digs it. Collier whips it at Nunaviller. Anna Banjo couldn't get there on the block for the Pulse.
Such good defensive plays on both sides of the net. Kelsey Payne really with some good overhead digs. Both middle backs doing a good job at digging up those balls. Brooke Nunaviller is one of them. That set off the net, and so the block was there. They were set, they were pressed, and Dallas is surging ahead a little bit, and I think that's driven by their defense.
Sydney Hilly making the right decision, stopping the run.
A couple of weeks ago when I asked Coach LeBay about Sydney Hilly, he said 2 words come to mind: experience and quality. And that's what you get with Sydney Hilly. You have the experience, the wherewithal, when to go over on 2, and then you have the quality of the sets.
Hilly, last year's setter of the year when she was playing for Indy, returning to Omaha where she won postseason MVP 2 seasons ago. Big time swing right there as Cooper goes back to serve.
And I love a good block touch. Brooke Nunaviller with that block touch, slowing down the attack, and then you see the space in between the blockers. Reagan Cooper's been really good from the back row.
The block was ready for Collier. I think that might have been Hilly that got a piece of that one.
It's a wonderful job by Hilly setting up in the right position, taking all of that line. That was a great read, pressing that inside hand, pushing that ball down.
Yeah, we were on the far side. It was tough to tell, but huge block from the setter, Sydney Hilly. Looking at the replay there. Big swing, but over the top, no block touch. And a point for Omaha. It's another 8-7 score at the first technical timeout. We've seen 3 of those so far. Timeout on the floor. Tonight's Major League Volleyball match on Roku is brought to you by Franklin, by Wren Athletics, and by Spalding. First technical timeout through in the 3rd set. Omaha carries the 2-0 lead in sets in this best 3 out of 5, and a 1-point lead within the 3rd. 4 straight points scored by Omaha going into that timeout. Like a free timeout for Dallas there, just the scheduled media timeout. Omaha's contained Collier on recent swings. The block on the overdig. You don't see that all that often, but they were ready for Onabanjo.
And that's hard as a blocker because the ball's coming from over your head, so you're tracking that attacker. Really good eye sequence. Great up, ball goes over, and then you see the blockers just tracking that ball and Onabanjo.
Van Buskirk had the block, wasn't really able to control that on that waterfall situation.
One of the things that makes Sydney Hilly so elite is also how she works the net. She's really good with court awareness. She knows when to go up, when to block. She does all of the little things right, in addition to spreading out the offense.
And Hilly's former teammate, they were in a timeshare position battle 2 seasons ago, Natalia Valentin Anderson.
Valentin Anderson is so smart. When you run a 5-1, you have to have an offensive presence on that right side. So either you run a D-ball or you run your middle on the slide. You need some offensive presence. Well, she is that on the right side of the court.
Brooke Nunaviller, so consistent.
And on that set, they brought Brooke Nunaviller inside, so not all the way out to the pin. Watch her get her feet to the ball, and then it's a crossbody swing because she's driving down the line, swinging across her body to get the kill.
9 kills, 391. Net violation against Omaha, point Dallas. You say bringing her inside, closer to the middle. What's the purpose of that?
You're just really trying to stress the block. You're trying to move the block around, and then that opens up a lot of line for Brooke Nunaviller, who's really good at attacking it. But what it does, moving the block around, gives you more space to score.
A rare bad pass by Nunaviller. She's had many good points tonight. That one wasn't there for Nunaviller. Normally just so textbook on doing the little things.
80% good or positive. Right now, 75% good or positive with the pass. She has been phenomenal with first contact.
Mentioned during the timeout, even when she just needs to recycle a ball, she's so consistent at something like that offensively. Second ball here for Kendall White. Sets up Kelsey Payne. Hilly in transition to Landot, hitting line with authority.
And that ball a little off the net. So Landot, that was such good body control by her to still take a big rip Watch her get off, put in a lot of work in transition, and then has to kind of extend backwards, but still swinging through the ball. She has a lot of range, and when you pair that with power, it's really difficult.
I think body control is a great point, though, about Landot. Could be a big reason why she is so successful when you break her game down, is that's a hitting error.
Most definitely, because a lot of times with attackers, it's hard to control your body. You've got your approach, you're tracking the ball. There's so many things that goes into it, but that body control is what takes you to the next level.
Nunaviller going short once again, targeting Maldonado-Diaz. Pass to attack for the kill. Sophia Maldonado-Diaz played collegiately at Louisville and Arizona.
This is what coach wanted to see. She wanted to see them throw the tip in to that pop, but mixing it in with the swing. Maldonado-Diaz has brought a lot of power tonight, so that was really smart. Defense is on their heels.
Tip to the what?
To the pot, she says.
That's right. Add it to the volleyball glossary if it's not already in yours. Hitting error, Mimi Collier. Her efficiency has tailed off a little bit as this match has gone along. She's hitting in the low ones at the moment. That ball is out, and a timeout for Dallas.
And it's hard because that's a large load that she's carrying. When the passes are kind of sprayed around, even when they are in system, they're running through her a lot. She's had 31 attempts. Next highest, Maldonado-Diaz with 20. Middles have had 12 and 6. So she's definitely getting a large load. She's getting a lot of sets. It's easier to make errors when you're having to carry such a large load.
Maldonado-Diaz, though, hitting .450 with a team best 11 kills.
4 digs, dropped in 2 assists. .450 is such a high efficiency for a pin attacker. She's been really good from the back row and from the front row. That's one of the things that she brings to this team is that really fast, big attack. She's able to see the blocks so well. That efficiency, like I said, is really impressive from her, and this team needs more of that.
It's funny, Collier and Nunaviller get more of the headlines, but Maldonado-Diaz and Cooper have both been sky-high efficiency tonight. 3-0 run for Omaha. Give another one there to Cooper, who's hitting .423.
And Cooper told us, she said that 4-4, that swing that she just swung right there is her bread and butter. She loves it so much, so she's been working on mixing in some lines, some deep to the corner. But when you give her enough of an angle, she can hit that 4-4 with a whole lot of efficiency.
Here's Collier one-on-one. They drew the attention away from her, and she feasted.
And that's Valentine Anderson doing a really good job understanding the situation with the blockers on the other side of the net. As a setter, you're trying to set up your attackers in a one-on-one situation. We haven't seen a lot of those tonight on Collier, but that was a good one.
This has been Omaha in a nutshell. They really got an average pass. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. They still got ahead of the point with Cooper offensively and carried it to the finish line. A kill by Hilly. Technical timeout. Welcome back, 16-13. Omaha's up by 2 sets and leading within the third. The nation's top volleyball stars are heading to Orlando as Major League Volleyball will hold the second All-Star match in league history, and you can be there. Tickets are now on sale for the historic contest on Saturday, March 28th. going to be broadcast live on CBS and Paramount Plus. But get your tickets now by visiting provolleyball.com/All-Star 2026.
Bring your kids, get to some warm weather. Orlando will be nice and hot by then. Go to Disney, watch some good volleyball, watch the best volleyball in the United States. There's no reason not to. Get out there, or if you can't, CBS. It's going to be the best of the best in MLV, and it was so much fun last year.
You could also even do both. You could sit in the stands and stream CBS if we're looking for the best of both worlds.
Fan, do it.
Omaha comes out of the timeout. This is just off the top of my head anecdotally. They've responded well in a few of these situations coming out of a potential momentum-stopping timeout.
It's a great point, and what it is a sense of urgency. They're not letting up.
And that's turned, in this case, you know, a 3-point advantage into a 5-point advantage. Seems a lot more out of reach for Dallas, which has to use its final timeout.
Yeah, just a few too many errors on Dallas's side. And sometimes that happens when another team seems like they're starting to take control of the set. They're in a rhythm offensively. They're doing a good job defensively. The service pressure is there. It's definitely easier to feel like you need to extend yourself, to go outside of your normal play and to make errors. Now Dallas in this set is hitting just straight 0. So not in the negative, but they need to get that hitting efficiency up. There's been a few too many errors. There's been 5 hitting errors in this set alone.
Yeah, this set has taken more of a defensive turn. Omaha hitting just 160, but as you said, Dallas is hitting 0. So Omaha's had that advantage in a more offensive-minded first and second set, hitting 516 in that second set. In the third set, become more of a defensive battle, still Omaha in front. Interference on Omaha.
On a banjo that time, reaching over the plane of the net, affecting the play. It's probably going to be a set, but she goes over, affects the play. Omaha's got a little bit of breathing room, but they're going to want to side out.
What kind of reserves can Dallas utilize? Where can they extract from to try and find another element that they have not seen so far through the first couple of sets and this one?
I think service pressure, you have to amp that up. You have to get Omaha off of the net, and then middles. You got to get the pass in order to run the middle.
One of the biggest swings of the night by Collier and Nunaviller, Duggar, but the response by Van Busker.
I love that dig from Nunaviller, sitting inside of the block, platform of the angle, perfect, great up, but there's that middle involvement. Omaha hasn't seen a ton of Dallas's middle, so the blocking may be a little off. Lane Van Buskirk really good on that gap. She likes to run that a lot. I'd like to see them do that a little bit more. Still down by 4, so now they need an aggressive serve, and they need to make some plays in transition.
Cox just checked in, earns the dig against Nunaviller. Nunaviller 2 digs in a row. Landot hits line, stopped by Kendall White. And an aggressive high swing by Sofia Maldonado-Diaz to terminate.
And those are those plays in transition that can get you back in it. Some scrappy defensive plays. Maldonado-Diaz, I say set her as much as you want because she has been the most efficient attacker on that side.
The pass got Omaha out of sorts. And Dallas takes advantage, prompting a Supernovas timeout.
And I think that's a smart timeout. Omaha had the momentum. Dallas surging back a little bit. Great up, able to run the full offense. And then Maldonado-Diaz with that quick arm swing off of the top of the hands of Sydney Hilly. We also talk about ways that Dallas can get back in this. Against Orlando, I saw Kaylee Cox come in and be an X factor and completely change the tune of the game. I think that she can do that. If she stays on the floor, she's got a really good pass. She's one of those players that can come in and completely change the tide of a game. So I love the fact that Coach Windsor remembered that Orlando match, put her back in to see what she can do.
Dallas's 4-match winning streak, impressive 4-2 record as an expansion team. 2 of their wins during that 4-match winning streak were comeback 5-set wins, including a reverse sweep at Orlando. So they are capable. And as you said, they did it with Kaylee Cox in there. But Nunaviller hammers it home.
Van Buskirk a little slow to close there, holding with the middle, which you're supposed to do, but hesitating a little bit, trying to reach that right arm into the seam, but not able to close it off.
On a Banjo to serve. They were extending defensively just to keep that ball up. But Maldonado Diaz made no doubt about it.
Maldonado Diaz has been really good all night with that, staying aggressive when it's a scramble play, when it's a messy play. She's been really aggressive all night in those.
Nunaviller, such an intense player. What an approach that was at this stage later in the match. Just physically dominant right there, Nunaviller.
Perfectly said, all gas, no brakes. Comes in so explosive every single time.
That is threaded down by Caitlin Horde. She started this set for the first time since the first couple of matches she started this set. Only 4 sets played on the season coming into today, but an all-star last year with Omaha. 2-point margin. Hilly backs at Landot. That'll work for Emily Landot.
That's a hard one. Caitlin Horde on her way down from the block. That was a really smart decision by Landot. I talk about her power. She does a good job at selling the attack, then taking something off of it and put it in the perfect spot. Any deeper, it would have gotten dug.
14 for 29 for Landot. Maldonado Diaz calling for the block touch. And the officiating crew agrees. Point for Dallas.
And you need a player on your team like Maldonado Diaz, who in these pressure moments in the red zone when you're down is going to take those big aggressive rips. That's her 15th kill.
Big aggressive serves, who she's their leading ace getter on the season. Needs something out of her point scoring right now. Comes up with a dig, middle back defense. Collier makes it happen in transition. It's a 1-point margin.
It's a beautiful set by Valentine Anderson. She really had to get her feet to the ball. Watch how fast she is, coming from all the way from right back. Little quick set, block is up, but block not totally pressed. And if Landot would have pressed there, there would have been more of a blocking presence, maybe get a touch on the ball, get it up for your defense to pass, but she wasn't pressed, and Mimi Collier made her pay.
And so it's a 1-point difference. I felt like the whole time there's been a clear advantage for Omaha all night, but the margin has been thin. That's the thing. If Dallas could just unlock a little extra something, they're right there.
I completely agree, and I think it starts with Maldonado Diaz. 6 kills in this set, hitting 500. She's been the difference maker for them. When the margin is that small, if you can have a player that you can rely on like that to score some points. Valentine Anderson has also done a good job at running through the middle. Caitlin Horde getting involved. It's those little things that make such a difference.
Shannon Windsor, Dallas head coach, said, I know, Windsor speaking, that nobody made much of us coming into the season, but we always feel like we're the team to beat, with all respect to any other opponent, including Omaha. They have that mentality. Cooper tips it, and the ball hit the floor. What a decision by Reagan Cooper in that spot.
It's a great decision, especially because we know her 4-4 is so electric and she loves to nail that home. Just taking something off of it, showing some variety. She's been very dynamic in these 4 starts that she's had.
Cooper making her 4th straight start, really 3 of those 4. She's been really efficient offensively. Reinhardt the service. Maldonado Diaz, good pass. Kaylee Cox sends it home. It's back down to 1.
I I said it before, Kaylee Cox can be the X factor. First of all, it starts with a pass. That's a great pass. In system, all offensive options open. And then Kaylee Cox has a lot of range. She's very steady. She's a consistent player. She got the kill.
Match point is coming for Omaha after the kill by Anna Banjo.
Anna Banjo has only been set 10 times, but she has 6 kills, no errors, hitting around 500. That's exactly what you need out of her.
They'll have to protect against Landot's serve to extend the match. 2 match points for the Supernovas. Maldonado Diaz makes it 24-23.
And coach said that's one of their favorite times to run that big attack. Set her in the front row. You've only got 2 options. You need another outlet. Maldonado Diaz so good from the back row.
They're going double middle right now. Tristan Savage is in on the right side to block next to Van Buskirk. Second match point. Kaylee Cox to serve. Lobs that one in. Gives Nunaviller some difficulty. Landot throws it. Cox cannot save it. Emily Landot ends the match. A sweep for Omaha.
And what I love about this is it was a grind of a sweep. They had to stay in it. They had to stay so mentally locked in because Dallas did push back. They did good in a lot of areas, but I think that just shows the mental fortitude that Omaha has to stay in it, to stay locked in, to play to their true potential throughout the entirety of 3 sets.
That's 100% right. If it went a different way here or there, including down to the wire in that last set, we could see this match get extended. That's not what happened, though. Landot for the win. Back after this.